Hello again, YouTube, and welcome back to Just Get a Tesla. And today I'm riding Elon's vision of the future, which is robotaxis. Except that in my case, these are the Heathrow car parking pods. It's all a bit odd. It's a good idea though, isn't it? I mean, why bother driving when your car can drive itself? In fact, why bother actually having anybody in the car at all when you can just tell the car to come and pick you up? Like this one. That has just started backing out of the space, if you can hear me, all by itself. And now it's going. I don't know where it's going. Hopefully the computer knows where it's going. But these things basically just drive themselves around. And now this one, which was sat there, is not even going into the parking space. It's just going. There is another one coming down the ramp. Maybe that one has got somebody who actually wants to come to this car park station, and it's clearing them out. But think about what it could be like in our towns and cities with actual automated cars, where instead of you having to hail a taxi, or you go on Uber and you press the buttons and Uber says they're going to pick you up in 5 minutes. Think about it when the car arrives and there's not actually anybody in it. It's completely automated. That's what Elon thinks that we're going to be doing with our Teslas in a few years, because they will literally drive themselves about. He's got this idea that basically, while you don't need to use your car, somebody else could. It could be earning you money while you're not in it. So I thought, the only place where, in the UK at least, I can test this out is here at Heathrow Airport. Here at least it's a relatively simple process. Push the screen, tell it where you want to go. We'll go to the other parking station. Yes, that's where I'm going. And basically, it lets me in. And then you have your own little mini robo-taxi thing. I mean, look, there's nobody in here apart from me. I tell it when to close the doors, and hopefully that will close out the aircraft noise. And then we press go. And basically that's it. Press it again. Come on then. There we go. And it shunts me backwards out of the way. Swings out past the one that we were sat next to. And then off we go. I've seen some videos with other YouTubers in, I think, San Francisco with actual driverless taxis. And I watch them and I think, oh my God, that actually looks quite scary. But this is what Elon Musk says the value of the Tesla company actually is. Yes, he's building EVs, and yes, people like me enjoy driving the cars, but he thinks the value is in the technology, in autopilot, in getting it so that the car literally can drive itself. Well, I'm here in this driverless pod, and it's definitely driving itself. There is nobody else in here, but it's doing so with a whole load of cameras. On these guideways, there's a camera every few meters, and it's also doing it on a segregated roadway. So I would love to see these pods driving around in the actual car park that we're above, but I don't think it would be a good idea, although it would be less bumpy, because how can I put it, this concrete track that we're on is bumpy as hell. But it's quite a cool way to get about. So we've gone from the car parking station over there, and it's gone around basically a roundabout, and now it's taking itself down to this other parking station down here. I can only speculate what it would be like having it maneuvering its way around the city. But the idea of having that driving by itself around the city, yes, I know the technology is largely there and it's being developed, and Elon says this is why, invest in Tesla and all the rest of it. I'm just not sure we're ready for it. I mean, tell me in the comments whether you've had one of these robo-taxis or not, but are we actually ready for having cars driving themselves with nobody in them around our cities? Are we? Really? where I think it could be quite useful is, let's be honest, there's quite a lot of difference in sizes and shapes of vehicles. I mean, I'm just here in this car park having a look around, and you know, we have got some fairly smallish cars, we've got massive big saloons, we've got a couple of big off-roaders, and the bigger the vehicle, the harder it is to maneuver around our cities. And over the last couple of days, I've been driving a minibus. So a vehicle that was a smidge under 2 meters wide and was 5.3 meters long. That's the longest vehicle I've ever driven. And you know what? It was really difficult to get it around. I mean, there were quite a few places, and again, forgive the aircraft noise, but this is Heathrow Airport. There were quite a few places where the length especially really was a struggle. Getting out of one car park, got into it perfectly easily, getting out again without collecting other vehicles was quite difficult. Here's the point, 5.3 meters long. I then looked up about the Cybertruck, and that's 5.8 meters long. So another half meter longer than the Mahusive minibus that I was having to squeeze through places. And instead of being a smidge under 2 meters wide, it's a little over 2 meters wide. So when people say that Cybertruck is too big for the roads in the UK, they're not kidding. It really is too big. Yes, I know we have massive, great big vans, even bigger than the one I had, and they managed to get about, but it is a squeeze. But perhaps one thing that automation could help us with is actually driving these huge vehicles about, because I find it difficult to drive something that big, and a Cybertruck would be even bigger. But if we actually go down the automation route, it's probably fairly simple for the computer to be able to drive them, because that's all it does. And instead of me just having 2 eyeballs and 1 brain, it's got a load of cameras all around it, and it's got a computer brain that's only thinking about driving and learning AI and all of those other things to be able to get better and better and better at it. So maybe the idea of robotaxis and automated vehicles isn't such a crazy one after all. It might actually be safer. So as I now sit in my pod to go to the airport terminal with its slightly aggressive maneuvering, honestly, it's like someone's going on the throttle pedal and then the brake. You know, it's being driven by a toddler. But as we head off back to the terminal, let's try and wrap this up a little bit. And I know this has been a different video because it's just get a Tesla and I'm not in a Tesla, but we're talking about the technology. And for me, I really am not sure that we're ready. But here's the rather basic point. I read lots of stuff about it's going to be really dangerous having these things driving around. And I talk about autopilot quite a lot and keep pointing out to people that when you're in a car using autopilot, you're in control. Even when it's driving itself, I am legally responsible. I am supposed to be monitoring. So there's the safety bit for me on autopilot. It's an assistance thing. But what if you take the driver out completely? Who is then responsible for it? And from an insurance and from a legal perspective, who is liable? So if my automated Tesla taxi, which goes off driving and doing some jobs during the day when I don't need it, it's doing a taxi service, if that crashes into somebody, if that runs somebody over, who is liable? Am I liable because it's my car, but I'm not in it and I'm not driving? And I think these are the issues that are going to slow down the adoption, because the technology is clearly there. Yes, I know I'm here on a guided roadway, as you can see, right? And the only thing that goes on here are these little pop things. This isn't the future, but the automation that these use is already out there with Tesla, and I think I saw a video with the Jaguar I-Pace taking somebody without a driver to the airport in San Francisco. So we can do it. I honestly don't know whether we're ready. And I think this is the point. Just because we can do something doesn't mean we should. And on that note, I'm going to leave it here. I am flying home back to my Tesla. So don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the bell icon so that you know when I've got home and shot some more videos in it. And if this is a little bit bouncy as I'm wrapping up, it's because these things really are bouncy. I mean, we are being bounced around like an absolutely crazy thing. It's going to be fun in the edit. So I'll see you back here very soon on Just Get a Tesla.
Hello, where do you want to go? You are going to Pod Parking Station A. Please board your pod for Pod Parking Station A. Are you ready? Press the button to close the doors. You're going to Pod Parking Station A. Ready to go? Press start. You're going to Pod Parking Station A. Our journey from Terminal 5 to Pod Parking Station A takes 5 minutes.